Catherine Goshen, a professional astrologer, and in this video I want to talk about Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising for 2024. A brief overview, and then we'll go month by month to see how you can best work in tune with the energies of the planets. Welcome here, welcome back. If you're new here, take a day on either side. If I give a specific date, it depends on your time zone, and this video is set for New York time, Eastern United States. And please feel free to post your comments, to ask questions. I read each and every one, and I will always get back to you. So Scorpio, 2023 is behind you. And I want you to, first of all, reflect back on your birthday from 2022 to 2023. That was a pretty intense period for many of you. And as we move into 2024, the energies are shifting a little bit so that those of you born approximately November 10th to November 20th are going to be receiving this awakening energy from the planet Uranus, while those of you in the earlier part of Scorpio, approximately October 22nd, 23rd, until around November 10th, you received these energies during 2022 and 2023. If you are a Scorpio Ascendant, you can think of it that in 22 and 23, it was affecting those of you with early degrees in that Scorpio Ascendant. And now on into 2024, it's for those of you with later degrees. And we don't need to get too technical here. So think about it also that if you are born at the very end of Scorpio, approximately November 17 to November 21st, you will be receiving these awakening energies from Uranus in 2025. So let me just speak briefly about that, because this video is concerned about how you can use astrology to become your authentic self and to work in harmony with what's going on around you. When you receive any kind of aspect which is as if a planet is beholding you, it affects the way life goes, and we want to work in harmony with that energy and not resist it. Now, an outer planet like Uranus is awakening us to change. And the best way to work with Uranus is to move towards that change, towards a more authentic version of yourself, and to develop an increased sense of self-individuation, freedom, inner freedom, and a knowledge that you know who you are and you are able to make decisions based on what feels right in your gut. Now, the challenge with Uranus is with all this authentic energy coming in, and it's going to be very strong for those of you born around November 10th to the 20th this year. You want to make sure that you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. In other words, this can be a time where you think, I'm tired of my relationship, I've been married for X number of years, and I think I want to get a divorce because I need to be myself, I need more freedom, etc. Bear in mind that this energy lasts approximately a year, sometimes 2 years for some of you, and then it wanes and it's over. So while we do want to move towards change, changing home, changing jobs, possibly for some of us there will be a new relationship, we want to be very careful of making precipitous changes that we then regret when that cycle of Uranus moves on. So you may be feeling restless. How can you channel that energy into self-development? Because many people end up sabotaging relatively healthy and stable relationships during Uranus transits, because they are putting the energy out onto their partner instead of internalizing it. Uranus times in your life are very good for example, learning meditation, finding some kind of supportive community, developing a skill that you've always wanted to have but you never had time for, making time for that, going on a trip abroad, possibly by yourself for a week or two, or if you cannot do that, maybe going somewhere local to take some time and see what is going on with me. And more often than not, you will find that the energy of Uranus is trying to connect you to a deeper, more spiritual side of yourself. And it's not the external events in your life that have to change, but it is very much your relationship to yourself that has to grow. So I'm putting this out there as an opening to you, and this is for all Scorpios. Even if you've experienced it around late 2022 or 2023, you may still be in that process of realizing that something is needed. For this year, middle Scorpios and also some of the later Scorpios, prepare for this by opening the door to a deeper relationship with yourself. Open yourself to being guided, maybe meeting people and expanding your horizons. This is what it's about. Sometimes Uranus can wire our nervous systems. So if any of you are having trouble sleeping at night, I invite you to do some barefoot walking. Get that energy up from Mother Earth, take warm baths, take time to listen to relaxing music, and use natural ways to tune out of so much media and to tune into really the vibration of the earth. You also have Jupiter traveling through the same area of your chart where Uranus is. And all that energy it's Taurus energy, so it's looking directly at you because Taurus is your sister sign. It's 180 degrees opposite from you. So you're receiving that look, that strong, expansive look from Jupiter to your sun or to your ascendant, asking you to grow, asking you to bring more abundance into your life. And when there is this look from another planet across 180 degrees in astrology, there's always an invitation to find the balance. How can you bring more balance in your life between pleasure and responsibility, between expansion and between the sense of that you are limited or fixed? Taurus and Scorpio are both fixed signs, so they are working on consolidating. But too much fixity can turn into rigidity. So there's an invitation here with Uranus, which is a planet which breaks things up. It's also in the sign of Taurus, and it's inviting you to maybe lessen the hold, the structure, the routine in your life and throw some of that to the winds. So let's dive into a month by month overview, Scorpio. January 2024 gets underway with a relaxing first few days, so take them. And then on the 4th of January, things start to activate. The area where you start the year off, Scorpio, is in the house that has to do with siblings. I possibly see you visiting a brother or sister, spending more time with them than usual. The other area of your life it could be activating is technology, communication, writing, getting your website in order, getting your social media in order, writing proposals, doing all that stuff that has to do with getting organized in the digital world. If you're at school, at college, or studying, this is also a really good time to go deeply into whatever work you have on your plate. You have until the middle of February where that area is very much activated and organization is favored there. Then after mid-February, emphasis shifts into the home. Possibly one of your parents is in the spotlight, or you're energizing your house. Someone is coming to visit because Mars is entering there, Venus is entering there. Wonderful time to beautify the home, and also a good time to have friends over. Mid-February to March, there is a full moon in that area of your chart that has to do with friendships. That's taking place on February 24th. So those two energies, home and friends, very much favored for February. During the third week in March, the energy shifts a little bit, and there's several indications which show that you're going to be dealing with healing, being a healer, receiving healing, working on your physical health, connecting with others in a positive way around this theme of healing. Maybe family, maybe friends, but a very interesting time where you are also working with past karma and things can come to the surface. This begins around the 19th with the sun moving into that area of your chart that has to do with health, daily routine, getting into a pattern. Then we have the first eclipse of the year taking place in an area of your chart which is going to mirror another eclipse which takes place in early April. And both of these are again to do with this theme: healing, connecting with things from the past, bringing up things in order that they come to the light. The first eclipse will be on March 25th, and that will be a lunar eclipse, and the second eclipse will be on April 8th, and that will be a solar eclipse. So bear those two dates in mind. Eclipses act like energy that is in a bottle, and let's say a champagne bottle, and it builds and it builds and it builds before the eclipse, and then after the eclipse it is released. Something comes to light and there's ability to move forward, to make decisions. More information often is revealed. So with those two eclipses being approximately 2 weeks apart, you've got an entire period, I would say from March 19th all the way until April 16th, where you want to be very mindful that you're in a processing mode. Allow yourself time to process. Don't rush into making any decisions or acting rashly. Those eclipses are going to do their work, and they're going to reveal and share that healing. That is such an important part of your archetype, Scorpio. Many of you are born natural healers, and this might be a time in your life where you're beginning to realize that more and more, and that energy is coming in to be activated. You also have a slowdown energy in that same area of your chart that has to do with daily routines. So please don't stress if things are a little topsy-turvy at that time. Let's say there's a slowdown at work, or you've had to take time off work, or you're unsure of your travel plans, or things just don't seem to be in their usual mode of routine. That's okay. By April 25th, things are really going to start to move forward for you. And there's one other date I'd like to mention in April. That's around the 20th of April. A very, very important energy where two planets are coming together and combining their power to bring us unexpected opportunities. Sometimes it's known as the aspect of luck. And this is when Jupiter and Uranus get together. So be open to something new coming in. Maybe a new job offer, maybe an opportunity to switch it up a little bit. Maybe you're going to even meet somebody at this time, because this energy is taking place in your solar house of relationships. So plant those seeds, and collaboration is also very much favored at this time. You might have to throw a little bit of caution out the window and take a risk, but do be careful that you don't take too much of a risk, because one can be a little bit overexcited by these energies that come in, and I don't want you to get caught by something that looks too good to be true. If something looks too good to be true, such as a financial opportunity, it usually is. So exercise a little bit of discretion over this period. The 23rd of April is your full moon. So that's the time that things are hopefully coming to fruition for you. You will have been building on something since the beginning of the year, or even since your birthday in late 2023. So I invite you to reflect the day before, the day of, and the day after the full moon, and see what is coming to fruition now. What seeds did I plant then, and how are they growing? Do I need to make adjustments? A little more sunlight, a little more rain, a little more shade, so that that plant that you are nourishing, that plant that lives inside you, that is your life, that is, we only have so many finite years in this body on this planet. Are you nourishing it to the best of your ability? Is there something that needs a slight adjustment during that full moon period? And in spite of that slowdown that's been taking place in April, there's also a lot of energy in the creative area of your chart. That place where we give birth to paintings, to books, to dances, to music, to children, to romantic relationships. So even though things may not be ricocheting forward, there is this possibility for something creative to emerge at this time, and I invite you to tune into that. We also need to bear in mind that late May and early June, and continuing on for an entire year, the planet Jupiter will have switched signs, taking some of that pressure off you, Scorpio, to expand, to do, to energize. So Jupiter will be entering a quieter area of your chart. And this is going to be wonderful for any kind of deep exploration that you're interested in. We could be looking at things like psychology, psychiatry, astrology, studying one of those subjects, going deeply into an area of your life that you're interested in. The other area that this new ingress of Jupiter is going to affect for you, Scorpio, is the area that has to do with money that is not money earned by you or your own personal financial resources. Could be referring to money of a partner, or investments or inheritance that come from other people. But there's a real activation in that area. So from early June 2024 all the way through to mid-2025, pay attention to that. You might have to do working with some estates that need your care at this time. And the secret with Jupiter in this sign is don't take on too many projects and spread yourself thin, especially when it comes to financial investments, or if you are involved in managing other people's money, which many of you are, Scorpio. You are very, very good at wealth management. At the same time, during July, there's continued energies to travel, to study, to expand. Beautiful new moon in the sign of Cancer in your house of foreign travel And we've also got at the beginning of July the planet Neptune changing direction in that area of your house to do with pleasure, with taking a break. So water, water, water. Perhaps I see you by the ocean, taking a few days there and simply using time to regenerate. Even if you are doing this deep processing where there is the potential for that, you want to make sure that you have some time in your element, which is water. August sees some activity at work. We've got a couple of things activating that chart. So if you do need to work during August, like most of us do, put yourself fully into that energy. There's also an activation in the house of friendships once again. So hanging out with friends, making an effort. If it's not friends, it could be groups or organizations that you belong to. Maybe you're going to return to a group or to put more energy into meeting with this group. It could be a clinic. It could be a group of like-minded people that you meet over Zoom. In whatever way, very much favored in August. The other thing that I could be seeing for August is a bonus that may be coming in from work, or an opportunity to take on a new role in your company, to expand, to excel in that area. So good luck with that, Scorpio. I hope something positive comes of it. The other thing about August is that there's a Mercury retrograde slowdown, and that's again in that area which might see you reconnecting with old friends, hooking up with people you haven't seen for a while, and also clearing the decks at home. August is a wonderful time for you, Scorpio, to declutter. Throw it out. You're good at that. And you don't want to be living in too much junk from the past. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. You're building towards a full moon, which is going to take place near the end of the month in the house of the home. So this shows me that you're celebrating family, you're celebrating roots, you're celebrating tradition. You may also be spending time with a parent or dealing with concerns surrounding an aging parent at that time. If you are thinking about moving home, sometimes things can come to fruition. The contract gets signed, the deal goes through round about that full moon, which will be on August 19th. September looks like all systems go when it comes to getting back into the saddle. Whether it's studies, work, some of you are traveling for work, some of you are working online with international contacts. September is a great month to put yourself out there, to utilize whatever channels of technology you have to reach a wider audience. So September 18th, that partial lunar eclipse, it's going to take place in that area of your chart to do with romance, with giving birth to creative projects. How will you use that? Once again, let the energy build. Don't be too reactive before the lunar eclipse. And after the eclipse, something good will come to light, something positive, something that has body and fruition. And we're already moving on to October, and October begins with a second eclipse. This time it's a solar eclipse. And for you, Scorpio, it's going to be in a very quiet place of your chart. That part that you go to rejuvenate yourself, where you go into your house or your apartment and your bedroom is there and you shut the door, where you need to be alone. So even if you're in a dormitory or you're sharing with people, you live in a busy house, find a quiet space around October 2nd and shut the door and take time for yourself. I also want you to pay attention to what's happening around October 6th. Nothing big, nothing major is going to happen, but there might be some kind of energy shift or theme that takes place at this time. So make a note in your calendar what you're doing around that week. What projects are you working on? How are you going out and about in the world? If you're retired, what are you busy with at that time? Because your ruler Mars is entering a phase where it's going to connect around that area or theme of whatever's going on in your life all the way through until the end of February 2025. Is going to be something that links those times. October 6, December 6, and then around February 25th. What's going on, and how can you perhaps have a project that is continuous and that takes you through all the way from October to February? Possibly something that you've wanted to do at work or in the home in terms of renovations. November is very energized in your public status, at work, also in the home. Once again, if you're not working, you can apply this to what are you doing out there in the community? What are you busy with? So November begins with your new moon, Scorpio. Very, very important seeding time for you. What energies do you want to put out into the world that you're going to be working on for the rest of your birthday year? Mars is also coming into that area of your life that has to do with work, public status. That's around November 3rd. It's going to be energizing that area all the way until the first week in December. And then you've also got energy towards relationships. This is around the full moon. That's taking place in that area of your life that has to do with either finding someone new or being in partnership, connecting deeply with your partner, putting energy into the relationship, doing something together that you love. And that full moon is around November 15th. And it's really energized because the full moon is hooking up with that planet Uranus that we spoke about, the awakener. So there is opportunity for something new to come into your life, a new business partnership, a new relationship, or a new energy into your existing and long-term relationship. And then we're already winding down towards December, Scorpio. Your ruling planet is going to take that slow down around December 6 and give you an opportunity to kick back and review the year. That doesn't mean that you stop working in December, but it does mean that you don't cram your calendar full, especially around that week of December 6 when there's an energy adjustment needed. This is the time to go back to the drawing board, to reflect. You may also be working on plans to renovate your house at this time because at the end of November, Pluto has moved permanently into the area of your chart that rules the home. And it's going to be there until 2036, asking you to empower your living space and to feel really good about where you are. So there will be plenty of opportunities for beautifying the space, renovating the space, overhauling things, and possibly also relocating in the years to come. Enjoy December. We've got 2 new moons, one at the beginning of the month, one at the end of the month. And that last new moon on December 30th is taking place in your house of siblings, brothers, sisters. Can you hook up with them? Can you connect with them over the holiday season? If you don't have brothers or sisters, we could be referring to neighbors, people in your community. Great time of year to do something festive with those who live close to you or are in your local surrounds. And that's all I have for you today, Scorpio. Enough in-depth astrology. I wish you all the very best for 2024. If you found anything useful in this forecast, please like and subscribe. It helps us to grow this channel. And I will see you next time.